Kearny St Workshop began as a community teaching space inside the original International Hotel. After the evictions, KSW relocated, but kept its name and its community spirit. During the 1980s and 1990s, KSW curated the renowned Asian American Jazz Festival. Kearny Street moved to the south of Market in the late 90s and began to evolve. Its gallery featured emerging artists and hosted the new annual groundbreaking APAture Festival. KSW may no longer be housed in Manilatown or Chinatown, but they remain within the community. Kearny Street is still a home where people can express what it means to be Asian American.
We're celebrating our 35th anniversary this year. Officially in August. We were founded in 1972. And there are three founders officially: Jim Dong, Laura Fu, and Mike Chin. The impetus to start Kearny St Workshop was that there wasn't a lot of original artwork coming out of Chinatown. They wanted to provide incentives for people to develop artwork and creative expression. So they opened it in the International Hotel on Kearny Street in Chinatown, Manilatown. And at first the programming was a lot of workshops and silk screening, sewing. There was music, all kinds of visual arts and different kinds of performance. In the 70s, KSW was involved just in these actions, going to the actions. And when they were being evicted from the iHotel, they would sit in and there were police and they were protesting, and it was that kind of action. It's evolved a lot from the 70s, but all the artists who we work with all have a very specific political viewpoint. And I think that what Kearny Street does is provide a space for artists to express those views creatively and to invite a lot of community dialogue around these issues.
In 1981, KSW director Mark Izu launched the Asian American Jazz Festival. KSW curated the popular event for the next 17 years. The high-profile events exposed Kearny St Workshop to many more people during these decades. The Asian American Jazz Festival continued KSW's mission. Poets and performers found their voices at these festivals. By the late 1990s, KSW began to recognize the needs of a new generation of Asian Americans. The KSW Next initiative was launched in 1998 to promote emerging artists under 35. That year, KSW took a chance to see if San Francisco was ready for a new Asian American Arts Festival.
Hundreds and hundreds of people came, way more than they were expecting, and obviously it was filling this community. There's this real community need for it, for this space for emerging younger artists to come together and share their work and audiences to see it. So this was the first APAture Festival. One of the really good things about KSW is that because we work with both established and emerging artists, a lot of people don't start to think of themselves as artists until they become involved with KSW and they are able to present at a KSW event, whether it's a reading after one of our workshops or if they are in our annual festival for emerging artists, our APAture Festival. And a lot of people say that they never started thinking of themselves as artists until they performed in that festival or performed with KSW. The feedback I get when I talk to people is that they really have this very unique sense of home when they come here, and also of feeling that they're part of a very rare community, which is really strong and really giving and really rich. Not everybody is going to have material that's explicitly about being Asian American. Not everybody is going to have work where you can look at it and say, oh, that's an identity piece about them exploring their family or their histories. So I think what we're constantly trying to do is create a space for Asian American artists and also Asian American community members to come together and think about what it means to be Asian American, and how there isn't this very strict definition of that it's always something that's changing and expanding, and also that it's always very relevant, though. It's not just, this is only about being Asian American. Like, this is relevant to national issues, international issues, human issues, universal issues.
These conversations are taking place at a unique time in Kearny Street's history. At 35 years young, original KSW members are interacting with new artists. KSW's community stretches across 3 decades of expression in San Francisco.
Some artists who were involved 15 years ago or earlier are like, oh, this is great. It's so great to see the kinds of things that Asian American artists are doing now. It's so different from the kinds of things we were doing. We were doing like murals or different kinds of art. And then there are other people who come in, on the other hand, and they're like, this isn't about Asian American. This is not, I don't understand what this is that I'm looking at. So I think there's a range of people's reactions to it, because it is a very different space, just the way, I mean, it's a lot of different artists involved, and there's new generations involved that weren't involved before. I hope it will be radically different in 15 years, that I won't recognize it either. Communities are constantly evolving and changing. KSW's mission is to produce and present art that enriches and empowers Asian Pacific American communities. It's somewhat difficult to quantify, but I think that it definitely connects people, and we also really place an emphasis on building that community and connecting with other organizations through the programs. And I guess it's successful in that sense, because I know people do feel at home here.
To learn more about KSW's past and future, visit kearnystreet.org. In each of these stories, we have witnessed how the Asian Pacific American community has come together for a common cause. As a result, we saw not only closer collaborations within the community, but that some of the movements that began in San Francisco have had a lasting impact nationwide. Join us in our celebration. Celebrate heritage, celebrate unity.